The other day, I opened a kitchen drawer and found a bunch of gadgets I hadn't touched in years. It made me think, why am I keeping all this stuff? Clutter doesn't just fill up your home, it can make you feel stressed too. After 70, having a clear and calm space is so important. So today, let's go through 28 things you might not need anymore. Trust me, you'll feel so much better once they're gone. Let's start in the kitchen. 1. Unused kitchen gadgets. Last month, I opened my gadget drawer and sighed. It was full of things I hadn't touched in years. A waffle maker I used twice, a garlic press that never worked properly, and 2 vegetable peelers. I decided to pull everything out and only keep what I use weekly. Now my kitchen feels lighter and far easier to navigate. If your gadget drawer is a black hole of unused items, here's what to do. Pull everything out and sort it into 2 piles. Use often and never touch. Donate or recycle what you don't use. It's amazing how much calmer your kitchen will feel when you can grab what you need without wrestling with clutter. 2. Mismatched Dishware. One morning, I opened my cabinet and realized it was stuffed with mismatched mugs and chipped plates. It felt like chaos staring back at me. So I decided to keep one beautiful set of plates and cups I truly loved and donated the rest. Now, setting the table feels like an act of joy instead of frustration. Take a good look at your dishware. Ask yourself, do you really need 12 mugs when you use the same 2 every day? Keep what makes you happy and fits your needs. Simplifying your cabinets not only saves space, but also adds a touch of elegance to your meals. 3. Excess cleaning supplies. I used to hoard cleaning products like they were going out of style. 3 window cleaners, 4 bottles of bleach, and a cabinet full of half-empty sprays. It hit me one day when I couldn't find the one product I actually needed. I took everything out, kept one of each, and gave away the extras to neighbors. Now my cleaning cabinet is manageable, and I can grab what I need without digging. If your supplies are out of control, start small. Pull them all out and check expiration dates. Combine partially used bottles if possible and keep just one of each essential product. You'll free up space and save time in the long run. A tidy cleaning stash makes chores less of a hassle. 4. Expired pantry items. A few weeks ago, I found a can of soup in the back of my pantry that expired in 2015. Yes, 2015. It was a wake-up call to tackle the forgotten corners of my shelves. I pulled everything out, checked the expiration dates, and tossed anything past its prime. The end result? A pantry where I can finally see and reach everything I actually use. If your pantry feels like a time capsule, it's time for a cleanup. Start by taking out one shelf at a time and checking dates. Group similar items together, grains, canned goods, and spices, and keep the essentials front and center. You'll be surprised at how much easier meal prep becomes with an organized pantry. Plus, no more accidental expired snacks. 5. Worn out towels and linens. There was a time when my linen closet was stuffed with frayed towels and sheets that had seen better days. I told myself, they're fine for emergencies. But the truth? They just took up space and made it hard to find the linens I actually liked. I finally donated the decent ones and cut the worn-out ones into rags. Now my closet has room for the fresh, soft towels I love. Go through your closet and be honest. How many towels or sheets do you really need? Keep a couple of spares, but let go of the ones that make you cringe. You'll free up so much space, and your daily routines will feel a little more luxurious with linens you truly enjoy using. 6. Stacks of old magazines and newspapers I used to have piles of magazines stacked on my coffee table and by my bed. Every time I walked past them, I'd think, I'll read them someday. Spoiler alert, I never did. One weekend, I flipped through the ones I really cared about, clipped a few interesting articles, and recycled the rest. It was like a weight lifted off my home. If you've got a similar collection, ask yourself this: are these stacks adding joy or stress to your space? Pick one or two current issues to keep and let the rest go. You can always find articles online if you miss them. A clutter-free table or shelf feels so much better than a pile of unread paper. 7. Outdated or unused electronics. I used to keep every outdated gadget, thinking, what if I need this someday? But honestly, how many old phones, broken chargers, or outdated remotes does one person need? One weekend, I sorted through my collection and realized most of it was just taking up space. I recycled what I could and kept only what I use regularly. Now my drawers are lighter, and I don't waste time digging through a mess. Take a look at your electronics stash. If it's broken, outdated, or hasn't been touched in a year, it's time to let it go. Many places offer free e-waste recycling, making it easy to clear your home and help the environment. Trust me, you won't miss those tangled cords or old gadgets. 8. Cords and cables you can't identify. We all have that one drawer filled with mystery cords, right? I had one packed to the brim with cables I didn't even recognize. One day, I pulled them all out and matched them to devices I still use. Anything without a match went straight to recycling. Now I only have what I need, neatly labeled in a small box. It's such a relief not to wrestle with a jumble of wires every time I need a charger. If you've got a cord drawer, it's time for a cleanup. Match cords to devices and label them. For extras, keep one universal charger and let go of the rest. A clutter-free drawer not only looks better, but saves you time and frustration. 9. Forgotten or broken tools. The other day, I went into the garage and found 3 broken screwdrivers and a rusty hammer I hadn't used in years. They were just taking up space. I kept one good set of tools and donated anything extra to a local charity. Now, when I need a tool, I can find it right away without digging through a pile of junk. Check your garage or toolbox for broken, duplicate, or unused tools. Keep what you actually use and find a good home for the rest. Your garage or storage space will feel more organized, and you'll save time every time you need to fix something. Plus, donating tools can make a big difference to someone who needs them. 10. Outdated beauty products and toiletries. One day, I opened my bathroom cabinet and found a bottle of lotion that smelled off. Turns out, it had expired 3 years ago. Alongside it were old makeup, dried up nail polish, and travel-sized shampoos I'd forgotten about. I tossed everything that was expired or unused and kept only the essentials. Now my bathroom feels fresh and functional. Take a moment to check your own bathroom shelves. Expired beauty products can lose their effectiveness or even cause irritation. Keep the items you use daily and let go of the rest. Clearing that clutter will not only free up space, but also make your daily routine feel simpler and more enjoyable. 11. Clothing you haven't worn in years. I used to have a closet filled with clothes I swore I'd wear again someday. Dresses from events long past, pants that didn't fit, and tops I didn't even like anymore. One weekend I decided to try everything on. If it didn't fit, feel comfortable, or make me happy, it went into the donation pile. Now my closet is full of clothes I actually wear, and getting dressed is so much easier. If your closet is overflowing, take it one section at a time. Start with a small category, like shirts or shoes. Be honest with yourself. If you haven't worn it in the past 2 years, you probably never will. Donate or sell what you don't need, and enjoy the luxury of a streamlined wardrobe. 12. Shoes you never wear. Let's talk about shoes. I used to keep every pair I ever bought, even the ones that pinched or didn't match anything I owned. One day, I realized I was always reaching for the same 2 or 3 comfortable pairs. The rest? Just taking up space. I donated what I didn't wear and kept only the shoes that worked for my current lifestyle. Go through your shoe collection and ask yourself, are they comfortable? Do they match your wardrobe? If the answer is no, it's time to let them go. A decluttered shoe rack not only saves space, but also makes choosing the perfect pair a breeze. 13. Gifts that don't suit your style or needs. We all have those gifts we keep out of guilt. A vase that's never been used, or a sweater you'd never wear. I had a decorative bowl sitting on a shelf for years, gathering dust because it was a gift from a friend. One day, I realized it didn't reflect my style or bring me joy. I thanked it for the thought behind it and donated it to someone who would appreciate it. If you're holding on to gifts you don't love, remember this. The thought and love behind the gift matter more than the item itself. Letting it go doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're making room for things that truly bring you happiness. Pass those items along and enjoy the freedom of a space that feels like you. 14. Souvenirs and knickknacks you don't love anymore. I used to have a shelf full of souvenirs from vacations, snow globes, magnets, and trinkets from places I barely remembered visiting. While they held memories at first, over time, they just became clutter. I chose a few that still made me smile and let the rest go. Now that shelf feels clean and special instead of overcrowded. Take a look at your own souvenirs and knickknacks. Are there pieces you've stopped noticing, or ones that no longer hold meaning? Keep only the ones that make your heart happy and let the rest go. Your home will feel more spacious, and those cherished pieces will finally get the attention they deserve. 15. Old photo albums or framed pictures. For years, I kept stacks of old photo albums and dozens of framed pictures scattered throughout my house. Some brought me joy, but others reminded me of moments I didn't want to relive. One day, I decided to go through them. I kept the photos that truly mattered and scanned the rest into digital files. Now, I have more space and fewer emotional triggers cluttering my home. If you have old photos or albums you've been avoiding, take it slow. Sort through a little at a time and keep only the ones that bring you happiness. Consider creating a digital archive for the rest. You'll preserve the memories without taking up physical space. Plus, your walls and shelves will look cleaner and more intentional. 16. Hobby supplies you no longer use. Let's play a quick game. Go to your closet or storage area and look for hobby supplies you haven't touched in years. Found something? For me, it was a box of knitting supplies from a phase I never quite got the hang of. It sat there, mocking me every time I opened the door. One day, I realized I was never going to finish that half-knitted scarf and donated everything to a local crafting group. Someone else is now making beautiful things with those supplies. What about you? Do you have paints, tools, or supplies for a hobby you've outgrown? It's time to set them free. Keeping them doesn't mean you'll start again. It just means you're holding on to guilt. Let them go to someone who will use them and enjoy the newfound space and relief. 17. Books you'll never read again. Close your eyes and picture your bookshelf. Is it neat and filled with books you love? Or is it overflowing with titles you haven't touched in years? I had shelves crammed with books I hadn't read since the 80s, and every time I looked at them, they made me feel behind. One rainy afternoon, I pulled them all down, sorted through them, and kept only the ones I loved or planned to reread. The rest went to a local library. Now my shelves are tidy, and each book on them brings me joy. Take a fresh look at your own collection. If it doesn't spark excitement or curiosity, pass it along. Let your books find new readers who'll appreciate them. And who knows, A tidier shelf might inspire you to dive into a favorite classic you haven't revisited in years. 18. Unused seasonal decor. Let's talk holiday decorations. Last year, I opened a storage box and found broken ornaments, tangled lights, and a wreath I didn't even like. I'd been keeping them out of habit, but when I thought about it, I hadn't used most of those items in years, so I kept only the decorations I truly loved and donated the rest. This year, setting up for the holidays was quicker and more enjoyable than ever. Take stock of your own seasonal decor. Do you have Halloween pumpkins or Easter bunnies that never make it out of the box? If they don't make you smile, let them go. Fewer decorations mean less stress when it's time to decorate, and more joy in the process. 19. Expired medications or supplements. Imagine this. You're digging through your medicine cabinet, and you come across a bottle of vitamins that expired 2 presidents ago. Sound familiar? I recently did a deep dive into mine and was shocked at how many old bottles I'd kept, just in case. It was time for a clean sweep. I safely disposed of the expired meds at a local pharmacy and kept only what I truly needed. Now, everything is organized, and finding what I need takes seconds instead of minutes. Here's your action plan. Grab a trash bag, pull out everything from your medicine cabinet, and check expiration dates. Many pharmacies offer free disposal services for expired medications. A fresh and clutter-free medicine cabinet isn't just about space. It's about safety and peace of mind. 20. Outdated or broken furniture. Every home has that one piece of furniture you keep out of habit. For me, it was a wobbly side table that had been there for years, even though I never used it. One day, I finally let it go, and the open space it left behind made my room feel twice as big. Sometimes, the absence of something is more valuable than keeping it. Take a look around your home. Is there a chair nobody sits in, or a dresser missing half its handles? Let go of pieces that no longer serve a purpose or bring you joy. Donate or recycle them, and enjoy the freedom of a room that feels spacious and intentional. 21st, worn out. Rugs or mats. Rugs are tricky. They hide dirt, wear out quietly, and blend into the background until you suddenly realize they're more of an eyesore than an accent. I had a hallway runner that was so frayed it looked like it had been through a battle. Replacing it with a fresh, simple rug brightened the entire space. Now it's your turn. Walk through your home and inspect your rugs and mats. If they're torn, faded, or just don't fit your style anymore, consider swapping them out or going without. A clean floor can make your home feel lighter and fresher in an instant. 22. Broken or mismatched. Picture frames. There's something about picture frames. They seem to accumulate over the years, even the ones that are cracked or mismatched. I had a shelf full of them, holding old photos that didn't fit my style or story anymore. So I took a deep breath, replaced the best pictures with updated ones, and let go of the frames that didn't serve me. Now my walls and shelves tell a story I actually love. Take a look at your own frames. Are they cracked, out of place, or just taking up room? Replace a few with ones that match your current home and donate or recycle the rest. Simplifying your decor makes the pieces you do keep stand out even more. 23rd, old curtains, drapes, or blinds. Do your curtains still spark joy, or have they become a backdrop you stopped noticing years ago? I recently replaced my thick, outdated drapes with light, airy curtains, and it completely transformed my bedroom. The extra sunlight gave the room a fresh, open feel I didn't even know I was missing. If you're holding on to old or faded curtains, consider an upgrade. Look for modern, easy-to-clean options that match your style and let in the right amount of light. Even something as simple as swapping heavy blinds for a sheer option can make a world of difference. 24. Unused or broken recreational items. Remember that stationary bike you swore you'd use every morning? Mine became an expensive coat rack. After years of guilt every time I walked past it, I finally gave it to someone who would actually use it. Not only did I free up valuable space, but I also freed myself from that nagging feeling of what if. Take a look at your recreational items, exercise equipment, old bikes, or even camping gear. If it's gathering dust or sitting unused, it's time to let it go. Reclaiming that space can open up your home for things you truly love, not things you feel guilty about not using. 25. Unused wall art or outdated posters. I once had a framed poster from a concert I attended decades ago. While it brought back fond memories, it didn't really fit the style of my home anymore. One day, I decided to replace it with a beautiful painting that felt more me. The difference was incredible. It turned my space into something I was proud to show off. Take a look at your walls. Are there pieces that feel out of place or no longer reflect your taste? Consider swapping them out for art that brings you joy, or even leaving a wall bare for a minimalist, open feel. Your walls are a canvas. Make them tell your story. 26. Items stored under the bed that you haven't touched in years. When was the last time you checked under your bed? I recently found a box of random knickknacks I'd completely forgotten about. Old notebooks, tangled wires, and even a single shoe. Clearing it out was like discovering hidden treasure, except most of it went straight to the trash or donation bin. Pull everything out from under your bed and sort through it. If you haven't used it in the past year, it's likely you don't need it. Use the space for practical storage, like seasonal clothes in a labeled bin, or better yet, keep it empty for a more open and calming vibe in your bedroom. 27. Duplicate or unnecessary storage bins and boxes. At one point, I had more storage bins than I had things to store in them. It felt counterproductive. Bins designed to organize were actually adding to the clutter. I consolidated my items, emptied the unnecessary bins, and donated the extras. Now, my home feels more open, and I have only the storage I truly need. Look around your home. Do you have empty or barely used bins taking up space? Streamline your storage system by keeping only the containers that are actively helping you stay organized. This simple change can free up space and give your home a cleaner, sleeker look. 28. Old or unused pet supplies. When my dog passed years ago, I kept all of his things, bowls, toys, and even his old leash. It felt too hard to let go at the time, but eventually I realized I was holding on to things that no longer served a purpose. I kept one small memento that reminded me of him and donated the rest to a local shelter. It was bittersweet, but ultimately freeing. If you have unused pet supplies from past pets or items your current pets don't use, consider donating them to an animal rescue or shelter. You'll not only clear your space, but also help other animals in need. It's a meaningful way to declutter and give back. So what's the verdict? Feeling lighter already? Your home is now one step closer to becoming a calm, clutter-free haven. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've earned it. Got any hilarious finds or hidden treasures during your decluttering spree? Share them below. Let's cheer each other on.